Picking up directly after Bill and Dani's kiss, she claims it was nothing more than him trying to retain ownership of her. They bicker about her new picture-taking playboy husband and the fact that he's not worthy of a fully actualized creation such as yourself. But Dani's not about to let her ex trash-talk her current hubby. Surprisingly, Bill offers a heartfelt apology for having hurt her and propelled her into a quickie wedding. But she accuses him of having never given her what she needs. As they continue, Bill refers to Anre as a seat filler, while Dani replies, "I was always open to adopting another child. You didn't have to marry one." This goes on for a while, with the pair eventually agreeing to stop talking about one another's marriages. As for the kiss, Bill suggests they forget it ever happened. "You couldn't if you tried," she says before exiting. Naomi swings by Dani's place and is glad to find her new stepdaddy Anre alone. Why? So she can make it clear exactly how she feels. Naomi asks what'll happen if Ashley becomes available down the line. Every argument Naomi makes, Anre counters, including agreeing to sign a post-nuptial agreement. "I married a woman who makes life feel like the good part of a movie," he summarizes. "Life is gonna life," he adds, "so you better celebrate the good parts. There's no telling when they're going to come up again." Naomi warns that if he hurts Dani, he'll have to deal with her. "And I think you should know I inherited my parents' worst qualities. I'm vindictive, ruthless, and ferocious." Once he's understood that, she concludes with, "Welcome to the family!" Jacob continues asking questions about Doug's accident. Meanwhile, Donnell tells Joey that the McBride family is planning to sue Joey, the bartender, and the casino for having overserved Doug the night of his death. Joey arranges for Donnell to confront the bartender dealer who served Doug. Immediately, Donnell realizes the dude is wearing Doug's watch. When finally the dealer confesses Doug lost the watch during a game, Joey scores points with the younger man by firing his employee. He then texts Vanessa to suggest she come get her son. Baby news takes center stage in two households. Fresh off his discussion with Dani, Bill comes home to a distraught Haley. Although she hoped to be pregnant, it turns out she was simply late. Meanwhile, Naomi surprises Jacob with the news that she's not simply under the weather. She's pregnant. "Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steamy, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama." Beyond the Gates, spoilers for Thursday, October 2nd, suggest a major confrontation between Donnell McBride and Joey Armstrong, while Dani Dupree will stir the pot. During the close of the Wednesday, October 1st episode, fans were shocked to see Bill Hamilton reach in and start kissing his ex-wife in the middle of his office. It's clear that Bill has started to recatch feelings for Dani, and because he's the one who started the kissing, she'll likely encourage him to stop holding back on these emotions. Will the two cross a line during the October 2nd episode? Will Dani now become the other woman in Bill's life? Meanwhile, Beyond the Gates spoilers imply that Haley Hamilton will make plans for the future. Will she catch Dani and Bill kissing in his office? Will she decide it's time to take action? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Across town, Naomi Hawthorne will lose her cool on someone. Could she find her parents in a lip lock? It's not uncommon for Naomi to visit her father during work hours. Naomi is the type of character that doesn't usually snap at anyone. However, she has been known to get into arguments with her and Haley, so perhaps her heated confrontation during the October 2nd show has to do with one of these two. It'll be interesting to see who and what makes her explode. Speaking of heated confrontations, BTG spoilers remind fans that Donnell McBride debuted during the October 1st show and learned a little more about his father, Doug McBride's final days before his demise. He was shocked to find out that Doug had left his job and was addicted to gambling. In fact, during a conversation with his mom, Vanessa McBride, Donnell told her he wished he knew about his dad's issues. He may have been able to get through to him. Donnell marched over to the casino, found out that Doug was there right before his car crash, thanks, Randy Parker, and immediately confronted Joey. It sounds like during the October 2nd episode, Donnell will lash out at Joey and will hold him and the casino accountable for Doug's death. Little does Donnell realize, he's barking up the wrong tree. Beyond the gates, spoilers note that Joey isn't only dangerous, with zero conscience, he also happens to be Vanessa's new love interest, so things are about to get mighty sticky in her world if her son and her side piece don't get along. Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates. On Friday, October 3rd, 2025. It's here. Friday has arrived for us. And with it comes some big moments to get us through the weekend without BTG. Jacob and Naomi have been dealing with unsettled times and many rough moments. It's high time we had some excellent news for the couple. And this could be it. Although Naomi looks less than impressed, to be honest. In Friday's episode, the Hawthorns receive news that could change their lives forever. Naomi is pregnant, and they are having a baby. To Jacob, it's incredible, and he says they have to level up, whilst Naomi looks more than stunned, shocked, and is in disbelief. Does anyone remember that Naomi mentioned she never really wants to have children? With more drama than you could poke a calibrated stick at, Beyond the Gates puts the Hawthorns in quite a dilemma. Another time for the Dupree elders to get involved in the matters of their family and provide insight and counsel, regardless of whether it has been asked for LOL. In Friday's episode, in the romance department, Ashley faces her new normal. Is this what she can expect from her life now? Derek returned to having a cold and distant, or perhaps distracted personality, and Ashley left wondering what she had done and what could have been with Anre. Will this be enough to sustain Ashley in a marriage? With doubts creeping in, we are sure to see this go sideways. Derek wonders if Ashley would have even given him a second consideration had he not had his accident and ended up in a wheelchair. Did she only exit her relationship with Anre so she could play nurse? What happens in Vegas did not stay in Vegas, and the Anita impersonator's social media post went viral. The family knew about it before the couple could come home and announce it to everyone. With everyone's opinions being given, Dani does what she wants to do. And in Friday's episode, Dani has an unconventional proposal for Anre. Here's what went down Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, on Beyond the Gates, when Derek kept the cat in the bag. Anre told Nicole what time it was, and Anita suggested that Dani's antics should be sponsored by the letter A. And A. On Beyond the Gates, Bill went to see Joey at the Lakeview, sensing that Joey had gotten rid of Doug after Bill had told him about Doug's plan to take Joey down. The pivoting Joey labeled Doug a drunk and said that McBride's death was simply a matter of Doug's brakes not being able to stop him from flying into a ravine. Bill continued to press, remarking that Joey had gone out of town at the same time as Doug's crash to give himself an alibi. Joey didn't deny the timing, but maintained that there would have been no way Doug could have hurt him, even if he'd tried. When Bill observed that Joey faced no more obstacles with Vanessa now that Doug was permanently out of the way, Joey smirked that Doug had never been an obstacle and reassured the lawyer that he hadn't signed Doug's death warrant by ratting him out. Doug and Vanessa's son, Donnell McBride, went to Garland Memorial looking for his father's office. Meeting Shanice, Donnell couldn't believe that the office was already being used by someone else, prompting Shanice to inform the young man that Doug hadn't worked at the hospital for months. Donnell was disheartened that neither of his parents had updated him as to that development, and thanked Shanice for being more honest with him than his family had been. After the shaken and out of her depth, Vanessa had to get advice about making final arrangements from Nicole. Donnell came to meet her at the country club. Vanessa was surprised to hear that Donnell had taken a leave of absence from Banneker University because he couldn't concentrate on his studies in the wake of his father's death. Donnell stated that Deanna had stayed behind, but was leaning on friends and therapy, though he had to wonder if their mom hadn't wanted them at Doug's funeral because they hadn't been told the truth. Vanessa saw that Donnell was upset over Doug's sudden retirement, having been kept secret from him and his sister. The realtor said she had just been trying to protect her twins, but when Donnell was firm that he'd get the full story from someone else if Vanessa didn't tell all, Vanessa finally told him about Doug's gambling problem. Donnell wondered why Vanessa hadn't gotten Doug help and was certain that Doug might still be alive if someone had clued him in so he could have aided his father himself. Vanessa was in pain as Donnell walked out on her. Later, Vanessa lamented to Anita and Nicole that she had failed her family. Donnell went to the casino and found Randy, who reminded the college student about how he used to play basketball with him when he was little. Randy and Donnell moved on from childhood memories, with Randy explaining that he and Doug had drifted once Doug started traveling in country club circles. When Donnell assumed his father had only been coming to the casino to visit Randy, Parker had to admit that Doug had been a regular there, even on the night he had died. However, Randy wanted Donnell to remember Doug as the stand-up guy he had been and not think negatively of him because of his gambling. Joey entered and sent Randy to see to something in the establishment, but Donnell stayed behind. When Donnell confirmed that Joey was the owner, he defined Joey as the one who was responsible for Doug's death. Anita couldn't help looking at how alcohol had destroyed Doug's life and seeing the parallel to Dani's drunken wedding to Anre. Nicole let her mother know that her sister and nephew, brother-in-law, had decided not to get an annulment after all. Anita wouldn't accept that and headed straight over to Dani's, where Anre hoped that Chelsea and Naomi, who didn't know he was their stepfather yet, would be happy for them. Just as the new Richardsons were about to play honeymoon, Anita stormed in and essentially ordered Anre out. Dani furiously told her mom that she had no right to dictate who could and couldn't be in her house, adding that she didn't owe Anita an explanation. "You owe me for being on this earth," Anita retorted, defining Dani's marriage as another mistake she had made while drunk. Anita insisted that Dani had a drinking problem. Anita worried that Anre was a bad influence on Dani, but Dani recalled how many times Anre had stepped in to help her get away from the bottle. The matriarch was shocked that Dani hadn't come to the family about that, and was hurt to hear Dani say that Anre knew her better than her loved ones did. Dani got honest and told her mom that her real addiction wasn't alcohol. It was Bill, who, before the blackout wedding, had come over at Haley's behest to tell Dani he couldn't have anything to do with her anymore. Anita actually agreed with Haley for once, and reminded Dani that things with Bill hadn't been as rosy as Dani preferred to remember. Dani confessed that, had it not been for Anre, she might have acted out directly against Bill, instead of exchanging 90-proof vows with her new husband. Anita remembered how Dani had shot up Bill's wedding, and was terrified by the idea that next time, Dani might accidentally hurt or kill Bill while under the influence and end up in prison. Dani needed to find a way to get over Bill for good, Anita stipulated, before Dani's fixation with him cost her everything. The displaced Anre went to Nicole and blamed her for getting Anita so riled up. Nicole was concerned that both Dani and Anre were abusing alcohol, and challenged Anre to admit whether or not he would have married Dani had he been sober. When Nicole heard that Dani had once again been upset after an argument with Bill, Nicole reckoned that Dani had only married the much younger Anre to get back at her ex. Anre conceded that hearing about Ashley's engagement had been hurtful to him, and that the news had played a part in his marrying Dani. But Anre turned things around on Nicole and asked her why she was opposed to him marrying her sister when she'd been all right with him dating her. Nicole replied that she had only ever tolerated Dani and Andre's affair, and cited the age gap between the two, pointing out to Anre that Dani would never want kids with him. Anre snarked that Nicole just didn't like the reversal of Dani being in a stable marriage while Nicole's was in tatters, and told Nicole he wasn't going to get an annulment from Dani just to make Nicole happy. Haley saw Caroline investigating the legality of Dani's marriage to Anre, and raged that Bill was obsessed with his first wife. Caroline denied that she was enabling Bill, and when Bill returned to the office, he ignored Haley's demand for answers by tasking Caroline with telling him what she'd found. Caroline reported that Anre and Dani's marriage was legal, though there had been no prenup. Haley told Bill he had one last chance to explain his actions before he ended up with 2 ex-wives. Bill asserted that he was concerned about the financial ramifications of Dani's marriage, since it was now possible that Anre stood to inherit what Chelsea and Naomi were entitled to. Haley called BS, reminding Bill that Anre had gotten a combined fortune after his parents had died, and therefore didn't need Dani's money. Bill said he had charged Caroline with looking into things because he knew Haley didn't want him getting info straight from Dani. Haley was still pissed and walked out on her husband. Afterwards, Bill received a visit from Dani, who refused his offer to get her marriage annulled within 24 hours. Letting Bill's critique of her nearly incestuous underage groom slide, Dani said that their newfound connection threatened both of their marriages and that they needed to find a way to sever it before it was too late. Bill recognized that something had shifted between him and Dani because of Chelsea's kidnapping and its aftermath. Dani realized that she and Bill needed to set boundaries of some kind, which was something she'd never been good at doing. The former Marriotts decided that the best way to create distance would be to infuriate each other so much that they wouldn't want to spend time together. Bill went first, calling Dani a toxic mess. Dani shot back that Bill was a heartless bastard, but then Bill softened, describing Dani as incredibly beautiful, and he kissed his ex passionately. At the hospital, Ashley told Shanice that she and Derek hadn't set a wedding date yet because they'd been too busy adjusting to living together again. Shanice knowingly asked if Derek had shown any signs of improvement. Ashley had nothing new to report. Derek wheeled himself into the nurses' station, having just spent time with hospitalized kids along with his fellow firefighters. Shanice wanted to put Derek through an impromptu physical therapy session, but he tried to get out of it. After sending Ashley to look in on a patient, Shanice wanted to know if Derek had had any more improvements and sassed that maybe he'd run a marathon. Derek clarified that he'd only felt some twinges in his legs. He still couldn't walk. When Shanice said that guilt from keeping his secret from Ashley would only impede his progress, if he even felt guilty, Derek shared his plan to surprise Ashley by standing up at their wedding. Shanice fumed over Derek trying to pull off some phony miracle and straight up said that Derek was doing what he was doing because he was afraid Ashley would leave him for Anre if she knew he wasn't fully paralyzed. And none of that mattered, Shanice added, because Anre was married. Derek hadn't heard that Anre had tied the knot with Dani, and Shanice was stunned that Ashley, who had known about it, hadn't filled Derek in. Shanice was willing to grant that perhaps Ashley hadn't brought it up because the subject of Anre was a sore spot between her and Derek. When Derek saw Shanice's point that Anre was no longer into Ashley, he decided that maybe it was time to give Ashley the breakthrough she had been hoping would happen. Ashley gave the arriving Anre the cold shoulder, flaunting the fact that she and Derek were deliriously happy in his face. Anre responded that he and Dani were happy as well, though Ashley thought it odd that Anre hadn't officially moved in with Dani, nor spent time with his new stepdaughters as a family. When Ashley said it didn't seem like Anre had much of a marriage, Anre was willing to say that it was unconventional, but also that it was real. Ashley came around a bit, and Anre said she was one of the few people who supported his union. Derek wheeled himself out to the nurses' station and happened upon Ashley slipping and telling Anre that his being married meant he was unavailable. After Anre left, Ashley saw Derek and asked him if there had been any headway during his latest PT with Shanice. Looking at Ashley, Derek cryptically replied that everything was the same. Beyond the Gates spoilers and for Thursday, October 2nd, indicate some explosive moments. Dani Dupree stirs up trouble, while Naomi Hawthorne has a heated exchange. Plus, Donnell McBride confronts Joey Armstrong. Read on to learn more about what will unfold during Thursday's BTG. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Thursday, October 2nd, suggest that Dani will stir up trouble, just as Haley Hamilton plans for the future. This has Bill Hamilton written all over it, and as Dani and Bill kissed during the Wednesday, October 1st episode, it's not hard to see that the drama that will unravel in the aftermath of this. Will they do more during Thursday's show? Dani can't seem to shake feelings for her ex-husband, but he was the one who pulled her in during the October 1st show, so he's got issues too. What happens next between these two? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Across town, Naomi is known for keeping her cool, but during the October 2nd episode, she'll lose it. But who will poke at Naomi so hard where she explodes? Could this be her Uncle Ted Richardson, who seems to have June swooning? Naomi may insist Ted backs off, but will he? Beyond the Gates spoilers remind fans that Donnell entered the canvas during the October 1st episode as Vanessa McBride and Doug McBride's return to town in light of his father's passing. Now, it seems like Donnell is looking to get to the bottom of Doug's demise, and he'll head to the casino for answers. During the BTG preview, a major confrontation between Donnell and Joey is shown. In fact, Donnell threatens to sue Joey over his father's passing, as the casino was the last place Doug was at before he jumped into his car and got into that accident. How ugly will things get between Vanessa's son and her lover during Thursday's show? Only time will tell. Drunken wedding, anyone? Carla Mosley was Soap Hub's first BTG Performer of the Month for March, and here she is again. This time around, she got to play drama with the aftermath of her daughter being abducted. She nailed the sexual tension scenes between Dani and Bill. But honestly, what put the Beyond the Gates star over the top for September was Dani's drunken Vegas wedding to Anre. Mohammed and Michelle play half-sisters Kat and Eva, who hate each other and are one of the show's best rivalries. Both actresses give 100%, especially in their scenes together. Kat and Eva are involved in a love triangle with Tomas, and right at the end of September, the triangle imploded when Eva slept with Tomas, and then Tomas still chose Kat. Kat couldn't believe Tomas turned to Eva for sex and for a shoulder to lean on. He spilled her private secrets to her enemy. And Eva couldn't believe that, as in sync as she and Tomas were sexually and beyond, she still ended up alone, like her mother. Muhammad and Michelle killed these scenes. With Doug's death, Buglioli has to play the tragedy of a woman who was in Puerto Rico in bed with another man. At the same time, her husband allegedly drove drunk, crashed his car, and died. The guilt Vanessa has been feeling has been palpable, thanks to Buglioli. Bill had an interesting month. Chelsea's abduction really got him thinking about his relationship with his daughters. Now he's taking active steps to make sure they don't drift too far apart from him again. He's pretty much back in with the Duprees for the most part, and he and Dani got closer while he and Haley struggled. Durrett did a great job playing all the different facets of Bill Hamilton, as he actually showed some character growth. Starting at the end of August, Mosley conveyed the devastation that happens from experiencing your worst nightmare. Her daughter was taken, and she had no idea what was happening to her. She leaned on Bill for support, but managed to stay strong like only Dani can. While Mosley consistently shines during times of extreme drama and heartbreak, she also excels at a couple of other soap opera staples. She clearly handled the comedic material the show gave her and Sean Freeman's Anre. They drunkenly eloped to Vegas, where an Anita Williams impersonator married them. Mosley is so fascinating to watch as she wrings all the laughs out of a scene. However, she then gives her character flashes of vulnerability that keep us rooting for her. And then, when Dani gets back to the DMV and Bill confronts her over her quickie wedding to a man half her age, she waits until Bill leaves to utter, "Score!" And then you realize that this wedding to Anre will also serve to keep Bill tangled up in Dani's web. Dani's always 5 steps ahead, and Mosley is able to capture the complexity of her character so magnificently. Naomi isn't welcoming this new family member with open arms, the Beyond the Gates. Spoilers for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025, suggest that Naomi will butt heads with a new family member. Naomi gets into a tense exchange with her newest family member. This is surprising since Naomi is usually composed and can keep her feelings to herself. The BTG spoilers suggest that she'll lose her temper during an argument, which will reveal the cracks in her normally stoic personality. Bill's ex, Dani, will plant seeds of doubt in his relationship. They obviously have different views on their marriage. Is this what leads the two exes to kiss? Haley will look toward the future. Will this cause further trouble in their marriage? Will Haley catch Bill in the act? Vanessa's son encounters Joey while on an intense fact-finding mission. She wants to know what led to Doug's death. Will she get the answers that she's looking for? Meanwhile, her son, Donnell, will search for answers. This quest will bring him to Joey's door. The two could end up in a heated confrontation that sheds light on relationships, potentially shaking up Fairmont Crest in a way no one saw coming. Ashley might not be able to handle her new normal. The Beyond the Gates spoilers for Friday, October 3rd, 2025, suggest that Ashley will face her new normal. When it comes to love and matters of the heart, Ashley will handle her new normal. What she thought was normal is not the case anymore, especially in her relationship with Derek. It seems like Ashley is resigning herself to living in a world where Anre is unavailable, thanks to his marriage to Dani. The man she will make her life with is Derek. Even though she may have other desires, she'll probably double or triple down on her so-called love for the struggling firefighter, who happens to be lying about his condition. All bets are off when she discovers the truth, however. The Hawthorns will receive news that could change their lives forever. In the BTG weekly video preview, Jacob is stunned that Naomi's pregnant. This news could bring happiness to Jacob and Naomi, but it may also bring conflict and raise questions about the couple's differing opinions of what their future may hold. Dani has an unconventional proposal for Anre. These two have been making many unconventional moves lately. Dani and Anre got hitched in Las Vegas. But is Dani not ready to fully commit? She still has feelings for her ex-husband, Bill. So, is she suggesting that they should redefine marriage for themselves? Does this mean she's willing to have an open marriage? Beyond the Gates spoilers. For Thursday, October 2nd, confirmed that an unexpected visitor leaves Joey Armstrong stunned. Meanwhile, Naomi Hawthorne has a tense exchange with her newest family member, and more. Read on as soap opera news breaks it all down. Kingpin Joey Armstrong is as tough as they come. He's built a reputation in Fairmont Crest as someone who always comes out on top, and he fully believes he can get away with just about anything. As far as Joey's concerned, anyone who tries to stand in his way is in for a rude awakening. But now, someone is standing in his way. Donnell McBride is back in town, and he's wasting no time digging for answers about his father's death. He's convinced that something shady went down, and all signs point toward Joey. Fueled by grief and determination, Donnell heads straight for Joey, confronting him not just about the death itself, but also about the casino, one that may have played a central role in the mystery. He doesn't hold back either, warning Joey that a lawsuit is coming. How will Joey respond? He's used to being in control, but Donnell isn't just another opponent. He's a man on a mission, and he's not backing down. This confrontation could open a much bigger can of worms than Joey expects. Meanwhile, Beyond the Gates spoilers for October 2nd also tease that Bill's ex is quietly stirring the pot. She plants subtle but effective seeds of doubt, perhaps targeting his current relationship or choices. Whether she's being manipulative or simply protective, her presence is clearly making waves. As for Haley, she's looking ahead and thinking about what's next. Whether it's her relationships or something more personal, she seems focused on winning. Naomi, however, finds herself in much more turbulent territory. She has a tense exchange with a new family member, and it's leaving fans with questions. Could this heated moment be with Anre, the man who recently married her mother? That would certainly explain the tension. Or could it be someone entirely new, adding more layers to Naomi's already complicated life? So do you think Donnell will be in danger? Sound off in the comments section below. We're also wondering about the Eva Tomas cat of it all. Meanwhile, Naomi and Jacob's attention is about to be focused on their marriage and nobody else. After a week that saw a marriage and a death happen, the drama on Beyond the Gates isn't about to let up. In fact, the BTG spoilers from September 29th, October 3rd indicate a few potentially explosive BTG moments that are now on our radar. A couple of teasers early in the week caught our eye. Namely, on Monday, Eva puts Tomas's insecurities to bed. Then, on Tuesday, Kat is dealt a devastating blow. There is a chance that these two events could be connected. The keyword in Monday's spoiler is bed. After 3 love disconnections with Kat, Tomas has to be a little insecure about his skills. Exactly how does Eva help him out? Does she help him out in bed? Eva and Tomas have been dancing around each other for a while now. We wouldn't be surprised if these two end up having sex and they connect on every level. As for Kat, there are 2 options for why she could end up devastated. First is if she somehow got wind of Eva and Tomas's extracurricular activities, whatever they are. At the very least, she could find out about how Tomas has spilled all of her personal business to the half-sister she hates. However, in BTG's weekly video preview, she and Chelsea attempt to launch the purse line, and Chelsea looks super hesitant. Does the launch go bust again? That would also provide Kat a devastating blow. One of Vanessa and Doug's twins returns from college eager to find out what happened to his dad. We're about to meet Donnell McBride, and while we never got to see father and son connect, It's understandable why he would be angry. His dad drove drunk and crashed his car, and now he's gone. And he probably didn't even get to say goodbye. What's interesting here is how Donnell ends up at Joey's casino and threatens the bad man, who happens to be sleeping with his mom. It's exciting to see another younger character on the canvas and finally get a glimpse of Vanessa in parent mode. On Friday, the Hawthorns receive news that could change their lives forever. Again, in this week's video preview, Jacob spills the tea. He and Naomi are having a baby. We see Naomi shocked and stunned because up until now, the husband and wife weren't planning on having kids. Something tells us that Naomi and Jacob are going to have a lot to hash out. They are about to experience some turbulence in their marriage. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.